John from JO Ventures Outdoors, and today I have a video. It's really a video series that I'm starting, and that will be on my Victorinox collection. And this is in response to a request by my good friend Pete at Jersey Knife Guy. Pete wanted me, I asked him to show his Gerber knives, and then he said, "Hey, I'd like to see your Victorinox collection." Well, overall, I don't really have a huge collection of knives. Really, I probably have 100 knives, maybe, close to it, maybe a little less than that. Maybe about approximately a quarter of that are Victorinox and Wenger knives. And so, but I'd be glad to show that, especially for Pete. In fact, I've been thinking about doing this series anyway. I think there'll be basically about probably 3 parts. And so I'm going to start today with part 1, which is my 58 millimeter Victorinox knives and my pin knives, what I would call Victorinox pin knives, secretary and pin pal or pocket pals. So anyway, I'm going to start with those today. But first of all, I just want to say thank you to all the new subscribers. Thank you for the overwhelming response and very kind comments on the giveaway video. And the 400 sub giveaway is going on right now. I'll be choosing a winner after Sunday next week. So be sure to check that out. And without much further ado, I think I'll get started here. So I've got 6 here, and I've got a 7th that will be shown here in just a minute. But and so Pete, this is for you, buddy. Here's my Victorinox knives, part 1, the 58 millimeter and the pin knives. So this is the SD Classic. I've got a black SD Classic. I've shown these recently on I think a 3 for Thursday, these little ones. And so, of course, it has the scissors, the toothpick, and the tweezers. It really needs no introduction, but this is such a super keychain tool. I've got the black scales on this one. There's the little blade, and then it has the SD Classic has the screwdriver tip there in this wonderful file. And I put this little key clip on here, this little clip to put it on my keychains. So that is the SD Classic. The Classic does not have the screwdriver tip here on the file. It's just got a file cleaner, and it will be, I think, discontinued. So I won't get too bogged down in the discontinued models because it's hard to keep track of all those. The second one is the Rally. Now the Rally is on the same 58 millimeter frame as the SD Classic, and it has, I'm going to show that in a minute, but it has the SD Classic, the file here and the screwdriver, just like the SD Classic, and it has the main blade over here on the other side. There we go. This one's in good shape. I got this one used, by the way. And then this is the tool that I brought out earlier, but it has this Phillips and a wire stripper and a bottle opener. Now, this is just a very handy screwdriver. You can see the way it's shaped. You're able to unscrew screws a lot easier, and so that's just a really handy tool. This is the Rally. They also have the Rambler, which adds the scissors. I'd like to get that someday. That'd probably be even more handy to have those scissors. Toothpick and tweezers, of course. Added just a little leather lanyard there. Pop that in my pocket. That's awesome. This one is a discontinued model. This is the Victorinox Rogue. And so this has the, look at the implements out here. It has a main blade, which was broken off, and I refiled or reprofiled it, resharpened it. It has the combo tool like the Rally, but it's a flathead screwdriver there. Wire stripper bottle opener. And then it also has the scissors on the other side. It's hard to see through this. Well, let's pull this one out first. This is the file and the nail cleaner. So it doesn't have the flat head there. Very handy. You can use that as a Phillips. Then has the handy scissors from Victorinox, toothpick and tweezers. And this one's pretty old. I got this at a flea market for $1, and I cleaned it up. And you can see the cross is worn off there. But this is the Rogue discontinued model. Really cool little model. So this is a 58 millimeter. These are 84, but I would call these pen knives. And this is the smooth A-locks. This is what I would call a secretary. I think after it was called a pocket pouch in the older models, but they eventually started calling them the secretary when they have the smooth scales. And I may be getting that all wrong. I don't know all the history, but you can see the Tang stamp there. Nothing on the back. It's got a name and a phone number on the other side. And then it has this other pen blade on the other side, trying to cover up that name. So you can see here, this has got some advertising. Roseacre Farms, the Good Egg People. That is a egg producer in southern Indiana, here in Indiana. So that's pretty cool. I really like that. So that's the secretary. And then I have a couple pocket pals. They have the Celador scales. This one's a little rougher. In fact, I think its tip was broke off and I reprofiled it, resharpened it. I carry this one quite a bit. As you can see, it's got the main blade and the little pin blade. And so the pocket pal has the Celador scales. And then I made this little slip for it. It's got little turkey tracks on there. And it pops right down in there. It's wet formed. And I just carry it in my pocket like that. So that's the pocket pal. Now, this is my pride and joy right here. This is a pocket pal, but early pocket pal. And this is from 1973 to 76. And I was digging through the $5 to $10 box at my local pawn shop where I go to buy lots of knives and trade. And I was digging through and I found this Hoffritz. And on the other side, you see Victorinox Switzerland Stainless Ross Fry. This is from 73 to 76, and this is a pretty rare Hoffritz. And Hoffritz Victorinox knives are very collectible. And I was like, oh, I think I'll take this one. And so it's in excellent shape. I did do a lot of cleaning up on it, but you can tell it's an older model because it has these exposed rivets, which are brass, and it also has brass liners. I don't know if you can see that in the light or not. Right there, that's better. But and the shield's in excellent shape once I shined the scales up a little bit and cleaned it up. But Hoffritz was I guess a distributor or a store that actually bought Victorinox knives and sold them and had some sort of co-branding there on the blades. I'll try to find an article explaining it and put that in the description for you because I always forget what the history is there, but I'll try to provide some information in the description box. So these are my Victorinox, and then I have one bonus here, which is a Wenger, and I carry in this little handmade slip. Excuse me. And this is the Wenger Patriot. Now the Patriot is also, I had this in a short recently, but you can see there Wenger, Delmont, Switzerland Stainless, nothing on the back. And this is a little pen knife, but it has a clip blade for the second blade. And so this is the Wenger Patriot, the smooth A-locks, aluminum A-lock scales. It's got this different cross. That's the Wenger cross. And this is pretty rare. This is hard to find, I think. And I just pop it right down that little slip. Same thing for this one. Put it in there, carry it in my pocket. But these are part one, Victorinox 58 millimeter and pen knives and the Wenger Patriot. So there you go, Pete. 2 more parts coming. And we'll have the 84 millimeter and the larger knives in the third part. And I thank you all for watching.